1, 2, and stop. Okay? Hands up, reach down. 1, 3 to your right, to your left, center. Inhale, exhale. Hands up, reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right, 2, 3. To your left, 2, 3. Center. Inhale, exhale. Hands up, reach down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Center. Inhale, exhale. Okay, hands in your waist. Circular movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Someone coming? 9, 10, 1, 2. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Cross. Knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Hands on your waist. Neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Tilt to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Down. Rotating. 1, 2, 3. Reverse. 1, 2, 3. Center. Hands up. Pull in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, spread your feet. Turn your shoulders. 1, 2. You can shift the mirror out a little bit if you want. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, and stop. Turn. We'll go this way and we'll stretch it out a little. Switch. 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 Straighten the front knee. Switch. 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 Center. This helps you to make the turn. Then you can feel the hip inside doing that. Okay, we shake it out. Okay, hands here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. I wonder if my mic's on. Inhale. Exhale. It is. No phone calls usually telling me my mic's not on. Okay, so let's shoulder roll. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2. Center. Press, release, exhale, inhale. and stop. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Okay, wrists. Reverse. Okay, palms down. Bigger circle. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, and stop. Okay, shake it out. Okay, we're going to put the hands on the hips. I'm going to shift from side to side a little bit just to get comfortable bringing the weight over the supporting leg. So if you can, just try to let your hip protrude as much as it needs to till the coccyx area, the spine, the lower spine, finds the center of that supporting foot. That's looking for the heel. Okay. So that's what centering the spine is, because the line actually goes from the top here through your body into that pole, so that it ends up as if it's the axle. So when they say the spine is the axle, that's what they mean. So when you shift, once you find that line, then you can go up or down. See? So getting that position is actually what happens when we transition in our stances. You know, when you're in an empty stance like this, if you look, when we're here, we're actually shifting to here. It's not actually here. So as you shift and you set there, that vertical line, that you can see it. Now that we have the mirrors, you can see the nose, because that should be in front of the spine, and it goes all the way down. It should enter right where the heel is. Now if you want to know where the hand should be, that's on that same line. If you want to know where your thumb should be, that's on that same line. The middle finger is on that same line. So that vertical line really creates that axle. Now if we're here and we're turning, it should be turning along that line. Okay. So everything that you do to compensate for that vertical line includes the knee shifting slightly from side to side. So that means the ankle actually would turn this way. So you're not over your toe. If you hold the toe, you can't actually shift. So this upper body rotation really ties the lower and allows it to compensate. So this foot actually doesn't have to move. So the concept there is connect and disconnect. Your hips, your joints actually will connect, and that's when you create tension in the joints. When the joint releases, then it's opening and closing and allowing you to separate. So separate is passive, active is when it connects. So that idea has to be brought into your movement so the upper, low, and lower coordination starts to connect. Because if something happens above, something happens below, you still have to have that center line relationship. So that's in everything that we do. Once you're in the empty stance, then the spine has to move around that position. Jade Ladywork Shuttle, it's here, and then it's here. Now the spine doesn't go to the heel of the front foot. It goes in a space just behind the heel because you're at a 70-30 relationship. Whereas when we're here, most of the weight is actually on that supporting foot. That's why this is the empty leg. So that helps to strengthen the leg, builds a different kind of strength in the leg because now you're twisting and turning and rising and falling. All of that stuff happens as a course of that vertical spine. So that's something just to be aware of. All right, so once we do that, we shift over and we're here. We're here. Now we have to turn toward the spine. Okay. So what sometimes is misunderstood is that when they see the turning of the shoulder, then all of a sudden there's a big hip movement. It's not your hip. It's actually your spine twisting. It's just around where the lumbar is, just above it, behind your solar plex, there's a place where the joint will turn. So you have to isolate that section of your waist to get a waist movement. And when you do that, then you'll have a division of the segments of the body where it can rotate here, it can rotate here, and it can rotate here. So if I say summation of components, if those are components, then all of those things should be at some point activated and releasing, so you have it. So releasing and control of that is a motor skill. So if this doesn't know it, then this doesn't know it. If this doesn't know it, then it's not going to happen as a relationship. So that's something that's, pretty important. But, why isn't discussed when we're doing a general class? Because generally most people are involved with sequence. And if you're thinking of sequence, a lot of the stuff is above, the level of consciousness because everyone's thinking about sequence and getting through the form. So this is a level after form, because once you've embodied the sequence, then the body can focus on another theory, another concept. And you get through that, if that becomes part of your subconscious behavior, then you can focus on another aspect or another principle, and then you build that in, and you build and you build, and continuously build so that all of these little nuances become subconscious behavior. It becomes innate. The body knows it. It becomes intrinsic motion, and you've actually improved on the skill level. But that does take time. It does take a level of understanding. And because everyone's different, everyone's going to look different because you pick up these things differently at different stages. So when we're here and we swing, this turning that let's see, where this camera over here. When you swing, you're looking for your center. So this movement also helps this movement, right? When we're doing water punch, any of these alignments come through there. But here we're going to swing the leg. So everything is targeting that center line. Okay, then we switch. Switch. and center. Okay, going to the side. And center, then we switch this way. Okay, shake it out. Deep breathing, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Silk reeling. Okay, switch other side. Okay, cross the arms, open and close, open and close. And switch. Okay, Sana. Circular movements. Okay, lower hoop. Shoulder height. Elbows down. Okay, lower palms down. Lift. Straighten the knees. Straighten the elbows, but don't lock them. Lift the spine, lift the neck. Extend. So feel like thrusting down with your fingers. So the fingers are fairly rigid. You're aligning the little joints in your fingers. Okay, deep breathing. Inhale. Okay, diagonal flying. So we're here. Switch. Center, cloud hands. Okay. Lift up, carry Taika to the mountain. And center. Infinity sign. Form the fists. palms together, strum the lute. Okay, thumbs up. Okay, Sana. And Sana. Thumbs up. Palms together, turn, draw the bow. Okay, fan to the back. Okay, raise the hand. Okay, palms down. Shake it out, relax. Deep breathing, inhale, exhale. Is there someone here? Oh, yeah, Andy's not driving. Yeah, among other things. So just heads up, Sundays, I did a Tai Chi class last Sunday, and we did one before we reopened. But a lot of people that still kind of uncomfortable coming back, but some people are still willing to do things outside because they think from what they hear, it's not as good inside. But I think inside it depends on the space really. But so I'm going to do Sundays, every Sunday, Tai Chi in that corner back there till probably the end of October. So If I can't make it, then I'm sure there'll be people that are doing it anyway. It's really not an instructional session. It's just going out there doing the warm-ups, do the Tai Chi Paradigm and long form, and then that's kind of it. But the weather's permitting. Only if it rains, then we won't do it. So just assume that we're going to have a class out there every Sunday. So you have time, you can come join in. So do we have too many people in here, or should we move to the other side? Or no? Yes, Sonny, you can come here. Go here. You can go there. No camera there. No camera. Oh, there's a backspace there too. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, the COVID's a concern with everyone. The school's open now. Did you open up? You doing semi? You some live and some, yeah. So there's a lot of concerns, and it's just the way it is, the nature of the beast at this point. I mean, I opened. I was telling Bonnie, I said, "Gee, I should be the one that's concerned. I'm of that age, and I'm also the person that I know I don't have it, at least. So all these people coming in, I don't know if anybody has it really, right? So that's really sort of a responsibility of the individuals. So this place is actually kind of a community. Most of us have a pretty good head on our shoulder, and most of us, if you know that you have something, you're probably not going to come and infect the next person, just because it's kind of a community. Now, if you go out to a restaurant, or you go out into bars and you don't know who's there. So that is kind of a hit or miss. It's kind of Russian roulette. You can go in there, and who knows who you can run into. But the thing is, there was one person here, Irina. Her daughter came up from Florida. She had COVID, so she was exposed to it. So she stayed away for 2 weeks. So she took, it in her own hands and just didn't come for 2 weeks, even though she came back. So it's just, it's just one of those things. But, there's so much distancing. I don't think it's a real concern, but I think any of us that actually knows that we have it. Paul got tested the other day because he had a sore throat. He had a sore throat. He tested just to see if he had it, and he came back negative. So, everybody's concerned that they might get it, right? It's not like you think you're immune from it, but you don't really know. And in my case, I'm really not. I don't overthink it. I don't think that I'm not at that at risk level, because most of the people that are dying from it that are elderly do have pre-existing stuff. So, but I think I don't know if anyone here has had any pre-existing, but if you do, it's probably a big concern. You got to really be careful. I know quite a few people that have passed from it, actually, and including relatives or friends. So it does affect everyone. I don't know if you know anybody that has actually got it and passed away from it. So anyways, let's do the straight form, the linear form. Been doing a lot of this, mainly because how the mirror makes a difference, because you get to see yourself, which usually just doing the form you don't get to. But this is actually a great tool to see how you look when you go from side to side. Do you have your center line position? Is your chest at this point turned 45 degrees? Is your chest square when you come to this point and you press and you twist? Now you're facing that way, so your body has to go into that corner. Now when you push, so these are tutorials. When you go to this corner, you don't have enough weight there yet. So if you just bring your weight, you can't do that. You have to go push off the back foot. Now when you push off the back foot, you have to relax that front ankle until your weight is really over that foot. And then when you step up, your spine will be in that position I talked about earlier in the class. Then when you drop your elbow and you switch to the other side, you will find your center line. That's your balance point. Then you're here, 45 degrees. Not horizontal yet. You can go from here to here, but you miss the transition, because from here to here is relaxing the shoulder and letting the elbow rise. So if you go from here to here, you didn't fulfill the transition that took you from here to here. So it has to pivot off that point. So all this time that we're doing this, we haven't connected that with the transition that links that together, right? So when we're here, okay, I'm here, and we go forward, now we're in the elbow down position. So what two things happen when we go to the elbow down position? We sink the elbow, we find the 45. When we start to go forward, then the elbow goes up. And then the hand starts to release, and you go to that corner. And then you drift back toward the center. Then you push and hook your wrist. Okay. So that's grasp the sparrow's tail. Ward off, roll back, press, and push. We always have to pass the plane of movement that's directly closest to us. So all the techniques that we do, we thrust like this, we pull down like this, we pass through the center, we do a dragon claw, we come through the center, then we come back again. We never go out there. We never reach. The reason why we don't reach is because we're tracking our movement and it goes through center and you're here. So like when we do this, it's in here. It's not out there. So we have this. So you have to find that line. If you can't find that plane of the movement, so you have two 45-degree corners. When we're here and we turn like this, and then we turn the back to the corner, the torso is here. You stroke back down. So because I'm turning like this plane turned to here. So this line has to track here. That's why it doesn't look as big, but it looks big to a person just looking at your hands. They don't know that the body is turning. So the waist movement is something that's added on as you progress after sequence, because while you're learning sequence, you really can't dial all of these positions. And so when you're here and you go out to this corner and you start to straighten the elbow and turn, it's really this close, and then we reset. The spine is through here, and then we push. If we continue around, it takes us to single whip. So that's why when we push, we sink. We're going to look at this movement. We go to this corner. Okay, let's get to this position. Reach out. Sink. Open. Leave your body here. Don't open too fast, so you have to let it out. Sink, open. So you're still pushing in that direction while you're opening that foot. Now you have a splitting of the leg, right? Once you split that, then you start to transition across. Then you bring your hand across by turning. And then you're here. Then you're here. So you're opening, you're closing, you connect, and you disconnect. All of those combination movement has to happen as a course of your transition. So it takes tremendous control of your movement and the opposing, counteracting forces. So when you're here and you reach out, your heel is not down because you didn't settle here. So if you settle here, and that goes down with that as a function of that, then you settle here. Then when we open, now you can feel it through your back into here, and then you start to draw. Now here's that 45. You draw and you turn. We get to this corner, you turn, then your body has to come back to center. But nothing actually loses its position because you're drawing. And then this is closed, this open, resets. We turn like this is closing, this is closing, and this is opening. And then you end up like this. So that's the manipulation of skeletal structure. Now once we're here, single hold the ball. We shift. So the elbows have to slant like this. So you see the action is here, right? And then you're in the position. Because when we teach part the horse's mane, we go shoulder, hip, and then when we do hold the ball, we have part the horse's mane. It doesn't just go to part the horse. You have to slant first. So when you're holding this and we maneuver, that's when this stuff moves, and then we're slanted. Then when we lean and we open, you've preset the position to create the shearing motion. So we know shearing motion is splitting energy. Shearing motion is the scissors movement. They call scissors hands. So how does scissors work? Scissors work off a pivot point. When you squeeze the back, this closes and goes like that. The edges are sharp and they merge and they work in essentially the same plane. When it's very sharp and it goes like this, it's cutting. So that shearing motion is part of the action. So when we're here, right, you're shearing the movement. That's a splitting energy. Okay, splitting energy, and then we're here. When we're here, this is what we have to remember. When we push, the knee has to go forward. Because you have to get, forward at 2 stages. 1, 2, 3, and then here. Once we get to here, the hip does this. So when it turns to here, it goes out. So that all happened up in here and down there. So this is the leg work. When you go forward and then do that, your body went to vertical. We're over this foot until we lower the heel. So between the toe, the heel, and the hand, it's like your palm of your hand and the heel of your foot connect as one line, you see. So that's the integration of the upper-lower coordination. So you have to understand that when we're doing these, we're not actually in the weighted or in the leg position yet, because if your hand and leg is working together, you have to have this relationship. Then you bend, then you transition over, then you come back to here. Now when you come back to here, you settle your elbows and you're here. Then we would turn. Now when we turn, we're going to end up like this. So from here, we have to drop our elbows and turn our shoulders. You see, from here, sink, turn, and merge. All those little things become pivotal, because between this and this, between this and this, between this and the relaxing of the shoulder and the sinking of the hip, to find that vertical line. So you have the nose, fingertip, line through your heel. So that's what we're striving for. So when you see yourself in the mirror, if you're finding the line, then you begin to respond to it. You feel it. You know that that's right. Then you move on to the next thing. You move on to the next. The whole form is made up like that. When you do your kicks, when you do all of this. So after we get through the Tai Chi Paradigm, we'll do the 108 move. We'll work a bit on the hand movements of the kicks. I did that this morning. So the shearing action there, that movement, high pat the horse, is an important transition. The elbow from vertical to horizontal, the splitting action is all built into those. So that's how we have to look at, when you do the Tai Chi Paradigm form, even though it's, the introductory form, every movement, every posture has its unique characteristic. You have to figure out what's going on with those, how your body transitions. So we just go a couple of more postures. Oh, we're already almost there. Okay, ready? When we do this and turn, so we have that center line now. This is that center line. Look at it yourself, and then you sink. There's your splitting. See? So when you split, it's because this is here, and I dropped. So because I dropped, there's a separation, right? But it didn't go all the way down yet, because I have to dial that in on a slant till it gets to here. And then when it gets to here, it begins to separate again. So the splitting between here, between here, between there. So here, this is where you sink the elbow. This is where you turn. This is where you push. And between the push and the pull, it's that spatial motion. So it's multi-dimensional movement that you have to practice. So you practice each one of those as one unit. You have one here, you have one here, you have there, and then there. The conscious intent, the will, the movement, every time you move, there's an adjustment in the wrists. Because this is sinking, this is turning, and wherever it goes, it's being led also by the intent of that. The edge of the hand, the back of the hand, the palm of the hand, all of these become, part of what's you have to get familiar with to sort of direct the movement. Because at the end of the motion is really manifested in the fingertips. So that's what you have to do, is get the hand to move. So when we're here, it's that. When we're here, it's, even though it's driving here, this is the controlling factor for the turning of the hand. So when you do that, or you do that, it's in the fingertips, but it's all tied to this, you see. So there's a lot of little details that you have to at least have as a concept. You house it here, you go through it over a period of time, and your body starts to recognize it. And then wherever it happens, it'll happen just as a course of doing it, because it's built into your system. So every posture, every transition becomes something that you're familiar with. Then it'll recognize whenever that's supposed to happen at certain points. So that gets to be a point what they call self-correction. Self-correction is analyzing your own movement. And you can self-correct because you know the difference. It's not just trying to copy a movement and say, well, it should be like this. It then follows the principle. Because once you have a principle, then the degree of correctness starts to make a difference, because it follows a guideline. And that guideline is what dictates the motion. It's not really just a bunch of moving hands. So, all right, we'll go through the short form first. Ready? Begin. Left side, grasp the sparrow's tail first, yeah. Where the thumb is, right? The middle finger is right where the face is. So that's, and then you're going to open. But because we're forward, we have to sit and allow the hands to open. When we sit back and twist, we turn, then we push off that foot. The hands come to here. Then you lift and you fold. Then you lift and then you open. And then you're back to here. So those geometry of positions passes through horizontal, has through vertical. The shearing is here. The flipping is here. The folding is here. The lifting is here. The opening is there. That's upper body. So all of that's tied to the legs, but you have to create the forward action. So now you have a shearing action here. And then when you turn, you push, sink, rise, kick, and then you come back down. See? So that's all in part, is part of them. You know, they do it this way too, a splitting, you know, the modern form of splitting, but we're shearing like this because this is the action that we're developing. The elbows pull in, the hands will go out. Just like the elbows go in or down, the hands come back. So that becomes a function of passive action creating a motion. So when we're doing these, because it's the dimensional, it's flat. This is vertical. Those ideas are throughout the form. Wherever you have those kind of hand movements or body movement, you have to pick up on that strategy of movement. That comes from the mind directing the movement. You know, they have a term called yi. Yi is like a mindful energy. Yi is an intent, and you're getting that, have it as a feeling expression, part of that discovery. So when the mind intent is there, then the energy will be there. The yi o, he o means the chi will arrive when the movement is there. So chi is your breath, your movement, your circulation. So the mind has to be very involved with that action, that movement. So the mind-body connection is all part of the concept of Tai Chi. All the internal arts works off of that. You know, in Aikido they call it ki. But the mind intent is still part of that. So the old cultures always thought of this energy as something, but it's tied to the mind and, you know, leading the path. These paths, no one knows what those paths are unless you dial it into a pattern. A pattern, an integration of body, And the consciousness of all of those things blending into one harmony creates that oneness. So Yedikon we call oneness. This unification of the 5 elements creates the single harmony. And that single harmony is the oneness of that energy. And that's what Yi and Qi become. So everything is about moving and arrival and then leaving, right? So things come and go. That's your circulation as part of what you're cultivating. So this is concepts and principles. So when we're here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Now the same thing happens on this side. 1, 2, 3. The body turns, pushes. That's to get your body weight over there, right? And then you fold. Then you lift like your wings, and then you kick, and then you pull back, and you cross behind. So the flexibility of the shoulders when we do that drill is so that we create non-resistant action. The sinking of the elbow, relaxing of the shoulder, and the turning of the hands is generated by the elbow. The elbow is the director, the shoulder is the relax, allowing that to happen. And then the knee and this have the same action. So if you're moving above here, then you're moving down here. If the hands, elbows are going up, your hips are going up, you're sinking down, you're balancing, straight and stacking, and then you're here. So stacking, folding, splitting, these are all parts of types of body mechanics. To bring all those things into play and then build off of them. But you first have to kind of house that in here. So go through that again. Ready? 1, 2, 3. And as your body gets familiar with this, it automatically will happen. So you notice this. So you sink the elbow, right? And then we're back here. Merge. Cross. Open. Turn. Fold. Lift. Kick. Balance. Cross. Then you would turn. The next one is fairly simple. That's the complicated transition. But if you get it in the first kick, the beat the tiger is going to be the same, right? We know that the first and fourth movements are the same. So when you're in the fourth movement, we're here. 1, 2, 3. So you're forward. 4, 5. Turn. 6. Turn. 7. 1, 2. You go to the corner. 3, 4. Now you push off the front leg, get the weight to there. And that's just like opening the horse stance. Here. Turn. Here. Sink. Down. Straight. Fold. Turn. 1, 2, sink back, sit back here. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So that's the beat the tiger. All the little positions. You're here, 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 here. So what is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? It's this, right? because this is an essential fundamental. You have to pass through here to here to here, right? So these structures that I teach in the fundamental classes seem that we know them, but we know them on a superficial level, just as a gross bunch of movements and exercise. But it's the building blocks to your skeletal structure and all the movements. So this, is very important. In one of the movements with the Sigong Ngumlo, one of his positions was this, as he's passing through the form. It's essential. It's very important. Then now when we look at it, it's defined here, right? We always have some of this type of thing from vertical. If we're turning like this, when you're like this, when you're like this, that's really, this is what's directing it, that's what's directing it, right? That's the hand, twist. What changes here is the forearm and this. The direction movement depends on turning, down, up, down, out. All those dimensions are modified by what the legs are doing, what your torso is doing relative to that position. But they have to sync up in order for there to be integrity. Has to have integrity, but non-broken energy. So that's a cycle. So you drive everything from your torso and in the legs, then you're going to create the motion. See? So divert, block, and punch is that. The infinity sign is that. Holding the ball. Holding the ball when we're in carry tiger to the mountain, when we're here. And we open, we end up like this. We open, and then we come down. We're here. We're here. We're here. So we generate the position. We don't just go to the position. We generate it as part of an action that happens in here. This is hard to control. So we have Siungan Senyama, hand, eye, body, waist, and stance. The body is the posture, but the body function, how it moves, right? The waist, how it's connected. Then the hardest part is your legs. The legs, why it's in the end is because of that, because they're not really always picking up on what it should do. So we have to teach our body to do that through, the pivoting, the turning. That actually begins on it. We have this in every step, but then we start the form, we're like this, then we're like this, and then we're like this. It knows that's agility of footwork. So once you know that, and then you move, it becomes spontaneous and quick. So to improve balance, fall prevention, all of that stuff comes from that. But it does take a long time, right, to get. So, okay, let's go through that one more time, right? Okay, we're here. 1, 2. Remember that turn of the waist, the forward movement, the opening. Make open, like, look at the cross hand position. You're opening as if you're shearing. Then once you get it starts to turn, because you're dropping and you're going to turn. So there's forward movement, to sinking movement, to rising movement, to kicking, to down, to center. Back to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So your stability to strengthen your legs come from this. You just have to do over and over again. That's just one unit. That one unit will support many things that you're already doing. And then when you have this movement, at the end of the form it's the same. Beat the tiger is the same. So you actually will improve 4 pieces of that form. And that's really part of that, right? So, was that helpful? Any questions on that? Yeah. So these are theories. Jip, ip. Jep is to fold. Ip is to stack. So in the Chinese, they have these terms. But if you don't hear these terms, you don't know exactly what it means. But even if you hear it, if you're not someone that practices this, you don't even know what they're talking about. What does stacking mean? What does folding mean? So if you're folding, you have to unfold. If you stack, you unstack. So everything works in pairs. Everything in pairs, because if we move right, we move left. We move left, we move right. So all this stuff that we're doing, move right and left and right and left, that's really what's happening. The sun is just a point. The 245s is where you have to go. So when you move, it's always involving your waist. So, whether it's Kung Fu, Tai Chi, Yet Himon, it always has the waist. Because this is the part that connects the upper to the lower. Without this piece, these two areas, sections, can never meet. They can't talk to each other because they don't know. It's too distant. It's severed through your body. So that's concept. Now, I spend a lot of time on this section because that's part of helping you evolve. But the other thing is, we all know the form, and we can run through it. Except Seth, maybe I didn't get to go through it today. We only have 5 minutes, so we can pick it up near the end of the form, after the third cloud hands, and we'll just go through that section. So let's start with the cloud hands. So now you see, every time you shift, every time you step out, the same concept happens as we did in the single whip. When we shift, see the shift, turn, and then back to single whip. We turn, here's your palm stretch face setup, here's your turn, but you have to drill through your center to get to that. Then when you sit back and turn, you want to close here. This movement, when you close here, and then you sneak this hand up here, is the parry and punch. It's also setting up for the single lotus kick. And then we're left side. So you get the third section of the form after the third cloud hands. It's just a cycling and a repeat of that segment of the form, really. So the form is essentially done twice. Good. So that's about it. So that's it for today. That's the end of the class. We're going to end it, yeah. So, you know, we do that. Thursdays are very light. Today's a big class today, Thursday. Usually it's one.
Are you doing Kung Fu in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why, there's people in there? Yeah.
I forgot to, I didn't realize that on the schedule, we still had a 10-minute gap between
No, we should,
6 and, I know.
yeah, we took it out.
We missed it.
We all,
It's on there.
6 to 7:30.
6 to 7:30. It's all classes an hour and a half.
Oh, please. In the schedule, it says 6 to, on the Jiva side, it says 6 to 7.
Jiba soft.
You know,
I don't think we've changed any of the driver sauce.
Yeah,
I'm not
you
sure
know,
if we've changed
the
the
online
driver.
login,
Oh, he changed he should have changed it. No.
right before class when I signed in.
Oh, because, it's fine, mix up. But the thing is, and today's Thursday, right? So in the past, Kung Fu was hour and a half. So it should have been the same. But that, well, because so you come twice, it's like going three times. But the thing is, I get this focus on, I get the focus on the long form and the short form. The short form, actually, a lot of people overlook it because it's if you do the short form, with a lot of technique in it, then it's the front part of the long form. So you'll have that part. But there's a lot of things from the beginning that has to be, redone. Okay. So the schedule is supposed to be at 7:30. We're going to start at 10:30. So some people might think it starts at 7:40. Yeah. Yeah. So much for the details, right? Okay, everybody grab a sponge. We have 10 minutes of wipe. Oh, it's already been done. We can start early if you want. You want to start?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. You can start earlier. Because whoever comes is going to come, and it doesn't matter if they're a few minutes late. Because the people that come late are going to be late anyway. So if I start at 7:40, they'll come at 7:50. So, right?
Yeah, that always irks me.
That's called Armenian time.
Just showing up late is really disrespectful. When someone shows up late, they're like, "You're late, get out." And I'm like, so it really irks me. I guess I'm super sensitive to it, but I always feel like saying something like, "Come show up late."
You got to go? Okay, so that's good seeing you. All right, we can line up. We'll bow in, and we'll do a few warm-ups. You want to? Even so, if you already warmed up, you can practice your weapon or something for 10 minutes before other people come. Ready? Bow. Salute. Okay, so Irene is here. So you want to do a few warm-ups, Rob? Yeah, do a few. Yeah. They're basics, but do it with an advanced mindfulness. Even though we're going to do warm-ups, they're basic, but even though they're basic, they're going to be done with an advanced mindfulness, with an intent of. And if you want to burn some calories, you do this. Yeah. You want to. Oh, who? Hi. Are you here for Tai Chi? No.
I did Tai Chi this morning.
Did you talk to me? No. This morning?
Yeah, but it was
To email.
a DVD.
Oh, you wanted a DVD?
Well, I wanted to do DVD.
Oh,
I have one I want to give to a friend.
yeah.
And I want to write a check.
Okay. So did you talk to me or Lucienne? Or do chat?
I didn't talk to anybody.
Oh. Okay. She wanted a DVD. No, DVDs aren't there. They're over here now. Somewhere. Where's your friend? Is your friend away?
She's in Somerville,
Oh.
and she
Well,
broke her shoulder.
Oh.
And
Does she do streaming? We have streaming too.
well, I wanted to give her this to start her out because it's so relaxing.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
you behind.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
think if she does it today,
Yeah.
warm-ups,
Yeah.
I think it'll help her shoulder.
Yeah, yeah. Is it healed already?
No, she broke it about a year ago,
Oh,
but it's still really stiff.
but she was in a cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
this is-
definitely. Yeah,
this
yeah.
is great.
Now, well, I mean, that's what I mean by healed. That it's back in. She can actually. There's no cast, and she.
No, but it's super stiff.
Yeah. Because when it healed and she didn't move it, the muscles atrophied and the tissue and it all kind of degenerated in a not that it's not there. It's just that it's not there in a movement sense. There's a lot of And if it was a really bad break, there's probably, other things that were torn.
And she's done some physical therapy, but it hasn't, I don't know if it hasn't worked that well or she hasn't kept up with it within the COVID virus.
Yeah, yeah,
And I've noticed I've been having some neck problems and I've been doing this
Yeah.
every single day.
yeah.
And
This,
my neck is just getting better.
yeah. You have to move because
Yeah.
movement creates the circulation and brings the nutrients to the, so in the shoulder thing, because it doesn't move and she's not making it move voluntarily, the healing and the idea of it'll break down what it needs to get it back to move, because there's a lot of
And then I think she may, if she lives in Somerville, as I said, then she may be interested in coming.
yeah.
So,
But if she does that and she watches it on the streaming, because we stream every class. I just streamed the Tai Chi class while we did it live. So,
I want to do, can I pay for the whole season?
yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure, I'm just not sure.
Well, we have a new policy, but you can talk to Bonnie about it. Did you see it in the email?
I did, but I was still confused.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And I have another question. I would like to, when I start coming back, which I hope to do soon,
hmm
I'd like to start doing something else.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else.
So are you gonna? So if you're gonna, if you,
Kung Fu?
yeah, you can do Kung Fu. Actually, it's all programs unlimited, so that's $185 a month, because the block won't work for someone going more than more than once a week. If the block is for once a week and maybe twice a week, sporadically, but it's because we only have two programs: the block,
Okay.
13, and then we have the unlimited that you can do Kung Fu, Tai Chi, whatever suits you, the weapons, everything, and
Now, do you think, with my, do you think I could do beginner Kung Fu?
yeah.
I'm not too old?
No, you do it based on. I mean, there are some physical movements here, but you do it as physically as you need to or want to, and then you can actually maybe start a Tai Chi weapon or even some of the other Tai Chi forms.
Okay.
A lot of Tai Chi people do other forms like the 24, and
Yeah.
or they do some Tai Chi apparatus. So, but
So I
Kung,
can try different, I'll just try different things.
yeah, it's all available to you. You just have to see what
Pick and
works
choose.
for you. Pick, yeah.
Okay, that sounds good.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
97.2, perfect.
Oh, I want to see what mine is.
Oh,
Oh, please.
oh, wait a second, a little closer. I think your hair's in the way. Yeah,
Because it came out 94 the other day.
96.6.
Yeah.
That's
that's
even
right.
better.
That's right.
Yeah, it could have been the thermometer,
So she said it was my bangs. I said 94. That's kind of low.
Yeah,
She said it's your bangs.
yeah. Your bangs interfere with so you just pull it up and you get it better. You do that last section.
I wrote you a very stupid text.
You did?
Yeah, because I didn't remember, I didn't see that there was Kung Fu. So I was asking if you were here at 7, if I could come and warm up. So
No, we have Kung Fu for adults, advanced
I
on
mean,
Thursday.
Tai Chi, I didn't know there was a Tai Chi class because I misread the schedule.
6 to 7:30 is all Tai Chi.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there's only one class per session because I'm here. Mine can't come on Thursday, so I pushed his classes to Friday. So mine is going to do Kung Fu tomorrow as well.